I don't need to think about it. The most dangerous maximum security prison in Germany. Die Justiz- und Vollzugsanstalter im Nordrhein-Westfälischen Aachen feierten 1995 ihre Einweihung und bittete Platz für über 700 Strafveruntersuchungsverfahren. The penitentiary facility for execution and implementation of the criminal justice in the North Rhine-Westphalia, especially situated in the city Aachen, already actually celebrated in 1995 its own structure to actually be loosened up by actually involving many different sides of the criminal justice to provide a rights back to the prisoners, and offers places for over 700 people behind the bars who are incarcerated. Wer arbeitete hier? Wer setzte für seine Strafe ab? Who worked here? And who actually, sits down here for their wrongdoing by being punished? Who worked here? And who actually sits down here? Who actually makes one's position here as a part of a prison term, serving one's own time in the incarcerated facility as a correctional center? Und wie gehen Angehörige mit dem Arrest eines Familienmitglieds And how, the families would actually go, how families should go with the arrest of one family member. How families, relatives go and handle with the arrest of one family member. I just really wanted to write down. I just explain, things. To me, it's very obvious. I never hesitated. I just really wanted to actually say that. I don't really need to think about it. It's really unfair. You know what? I actually wanted to provide an extra explanation by touching this issue. But you know what? The original one. You know what? Sometimes I feel really kind of mistreated. I just actually provide an extensive understanding by actually reading between lines. That means I provide a contextual knowledge. That's my habit. I just really kind of, if I never actually mention detailed information by not actually visiting what has been presented in between, then I would be under a suspicion of not knowing things about this. That's really the reason I just really wanted to say that, he's a wife, has been there. So I just added this, outside of what has been presented in the original sentences. If you have any idea how quickly I can actually, grasp the meaning, then I would actually demonstrate the original sentence was a one family member, the relative, how relatives and different family members actually handle the situation of the prison status of a one family member per each family. Have you not actually understood this? Why would you actually say that? I have to think about it. The only reason I decided to write it down is, I would have never actually invite any unwanted suspicions that I've been actually turning around and not being committed to this kind of understanding. The only reason yesterday the French family member coming from the Italian family member, I actually said that somehow by reading the entire sentence, I understand that he has his wife. Not because I actually had to think about it. I never actually wanted to think about it. I just really wanted to provide a contextual argument. That's really the reason I decided to adopt this, a one line by one system. I actually decided to give out immediate answer in German or from German or French. In that way, I don't only need to actually bring out any contextual understanding that would actually be prevalent or that would be actually presented inside the system. That's really the reason I just really decided to match it with one sentence to actually minimize the possibility of me getting actually under suspicion of being grobe about it, because I just sometimes had utmost desire to present details that would actually be somehow brought by different circumstances, connected lines or in the passage, because I just really wanted to be very specific about mentioning all different aspects. Otherwise, I wouldn't be actually normal under suspicion. Oh, she would only know what could be presented visibly. She would never actually draw any deferential knowledge by making a deduction or induction. That's really the reason I never actually wanted to be under this kind of gross suspicion. That's really the reason I provided contextual cues and hints that would actually deliver any type of sense. But my immediate understanding is very obvious. We don't really actually say that. Let me actually write it down. It's really obvious. To me, I don't really need to think about it. you know what? That's really the reason I decided to present it one by one. Just to say, you know, looking into one, you read it in one sentence, then give out an answer. Don't mention any type of contextual knowledge. Just hold your breath, and later you actually expand the meaning, saying that, oh, you know, in addition to this, you know, sentence that I just mentioned, that besides that point, I could actually, you know, draw this, you know, parallels from the scenario. I can actually at least, you know, read from the contextual lines by actually making inference or even deference, whatever that might be. How the relatives, you know, handle incarceration. That's a really cruel argument. I don't really need to think. I sometimes, you know, I had a tendency to mispronounce it, then I have to yell it really quickly. No, the thing that I should say is this. I actually had a tendency, it's not because of my misperception in that language. Then before I say anything, if I ever actually, you know, make a mistake, then I would say that, hey, you know what, I don't want to actually go deeper into it, but let me actually assure you, this much I can actually guarantee. At this point, there is one person who's been Italian like this. You know, I want to actually, you know, make an immediate knee-jerk auto response, you know, to demonstrate you. This is really easy. Let me actually show you. In unserer JVR-Doku der Gefängnisknast Deutschland, die JVA Jahren, könnte ihr einen Blick hinter den Gittern werfen. In our, you know, jail documentary featuring the most dangerous correctional center in Germany, especially in Aachen, and through this, you know, what it can actually offer this immediate look exclusively focusing on what's happening behind the bars. This could actually throw a look into the very secretive society, the maximum security big house and a big tent in Germany situated in Aachen, which is, you know what, one city in Westphalia